What are the preparations like in Bayelsa for the elections?
Oh, great. This morning, we in the state capital, for example, Yanagwa, you could see presence of security operatives in the major perimeters of the state. For example, the exits and the entrances of the state. You'll feel the presence of security operatives, which will give you the sense of the fact that something is going to happen here in another few days. There are a few checks here and there when you're entering into town. So it gives you a sense of the fact that something is going to happen. But earlier in the week, there's been some preparations. On the side of INEC, there was a stakeholders meeting on Tuesday where the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, met with stakeholders talking about security operatives, party officials, and what have you, everyone that has a role to play in the election. They met on Tuesday, and what the basic things that they are trying to resolve is a preparation to feel what exactly is on the ground, what they have done, what they have not done. The INEC chairman told the stakeholders on that day that, in fact, some materials will arrive and will be due for deployment on that same day. INEC has tried as much as possible in the last few years to improve on the logistics challenges that they always have in elections. So we saw that play out in Kogi election, where in fact non-sensitive and sensitive materials were deployed 3-4 days before the election day, which will reduce the early morning deployment hustle that we always see during the election. So this time around, something similar might be playing out. The terrain in Bayelsa State, as you will know, is quite going to be different from what we've seen in some states of the country. For example, you know that largely Bayelsa State is somewhat an island and has a lot of water links to some of the communities. So the form of transportation, the form of communication, the form of deployment of this might be more strategic than we.
Okay, I know you're in a hurry to give us all the information you have, but Sean, just a very, very quick one. What's the mood of the electorate? Can you gauge their mood?
Yeah, of course. I mean, things naturally, the enthusiasm in the people you will feel generally. And let me tell you that now, we're going to be seeing well over 600,000 voters here, precisely 663,748 PVCs have been collected. So the expectations are that about that number will go for the polls, the possibility of that number going for the polls, and we have about 2,000 polling units. That's 1,930 polling units that people are going to be reporting to. But in all of these now, we have 54% of this number who are men. So we have more men in this election, registered voters in this election, while 46% are women. In all of this number, between the age of 18 and 30, we have more of them youths that are going to go into this election. So you see more men, more youths participating in this poll. But generally, when you go around town, what you see is that people are expecting at every taxi that you enter into or every tricycle that you try to get to move around town, one thing that people are talking about is the election. And one thing is the debate about the candidates that they were going to be voting for. So the atmosphere generally is peaceful. The news and the stories about possible violence, you cannot be able to feel in the town just yet, because everything is going, people are going about their businesses just as usual, just as normal, and it seems to be very calm at the moment.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Our correspondent, Seun Okinbale, speaking to us from Bayelsa, where they're preparing for the elections, governorship elections this Saturday. Thank you.